Totally. Hello, everyone. It is Rita Lawrence here, and we are going to be having our inspiration call today. I have some live listeners. We have Dawn, and she is so beautiful here with us today. And anybody else listening live, thank you so much from your phones. I appreciate you joining. And the replay viewers, oh, Dawn, could you mute yourself? Thank you. And replay viewers, I appreciate you coming in and watching later and being a part of our community, even when you can't join us live. It's okay. This is all about what's best for you and, you know, prioritizing your time. Because truthfully, time is the one thing we all have, that we all have the same amount of, that we can literally compare. The one thing we can compare with others, right? Everyone has the same amount of time in a day. There's no question about that. Now, what we do with our time, that's always in question. It always should be a question. And, you know, my coaches and mentors, Robert Hollis and Melody Ryba, they may massively inspire me every single day to ask myself, where is this coming from? Why am I doing this? This action that I'm taking or this priority that I'm making, where is it coming from? Is it coming from my heart? Or is it coming from my mind? Is it coming from the past? Maybe it's coming from pain or fear or something like that. Because we make decisions and we make choices every single day simply based on our state. Like where are we at in this moment? And a lot of times I find myself struggling with living in the past. It's been a habit, right? It's been a habit, but it's something we can work on. And that's where Robert Hollis and Melody really, really helped me with a morning mastery routine. The truth is, and if you're a believer, you already know this, the Bible teaches we are able to receive from our Creator, whether it's we call it God or the universe or, you know, Jesus and his God and the Son, Jesus, whatever title and labels we put on it. You know, I'm just really inspired to see through God's eyes. So I no longer see those labels. And when you begin to do this, I encourage you, inspire you to just try it. Maybe it could be for you. Maybe it could help some areas where you're stressed and fearful and anxious like I was, to remove those labels, create so much freedom, because then I have the ability to put my own meaning into whatever that is, right? For instance, like just say marriage. Okay. Everyone will agree that every single person in the world has a different feeling when they hear the word marriage. It could be a good feeling. It could be the most devastating feeling in the entire world for someone, right? We have no idea how someone feels about that word. So it's interesting to me that everything in life is that way. And I find I'm able to connect with more people easily and peacefully, including my own family, especially, right? That's where it starts. It always starts at home. And Melody is the one that really, really was my reminding angel a year ago, to remind me that, to get back home, get back to the basics, get back to, you know, old-fashioned family values, if you want to call it that, but where you spend time with your children or family, you know, whatever it is you're wanting to pour your heart into, that instead of doing it with money or gifts necessarily that have value, but instead we give of ourselves and of our time and our hearts, because that's where legacy is. That's where we find we're able to give limitless, unlimited, right? Surplus, when it's not coming from our own. We're always going to be limited. We're human. You can say that, right? But then you can also say we are wildly unlimited, because we are more than human. So it's a choice of where we want to focus and where we want to put our focus. So what I've been inspired to do is really put my focus in my morning ritual and my morning routines. If you're in Freedom Mastery here, you know that the resources are in the files for the morning routine. That's exactly what I started with. I used all those for over 100 days religiously. And I don't really like that word. That's not a word that I like to prefer to use. But there was a period of time where I did set a schedule and make action steps, and I got religious about it because I was creating that habit, and that's what they kept telling me. I looked at their life, you know, I saw their success. I looked at Melody's life, and I saw her become a millionaire because this was what she made a priority. Not because she made her business a priority, but she made her heart a priority. And so she inspired me to do that, and also inspire my children to do that, everyone in my life. So that's basically what this is, you know, just an inspiration to use those morning resources or whatever you find helps you to see from your heart, to receive the morning manna that is beyond food, that is beyond our physical being. And when we do that every single day, for a period of time, we can then really truly see further than physical. So then what starts to happen, and here's where the miracles come, here's where money comes, success, fame, labels, titles, whatever it is you want. It's okay. Like, we're allowed to want these things, right? Because again, we're human. They're natural, you know, wanting recognition and wanting fame and fortune, abundance. Like, those are divine inspirations. That is God inspired within us. It is 100% true. I do believe that with all my who I am, that God inspires those desires in us to be more, to want more, to grow more, to just have more, because you know, abundance really is godly, divine, and unlimited. Unlimited. We just get into the habit of setting limits on ourselves. And you know, when we come back in the morning to ourselves, that morning manna, not only ourselves, but our creator, really, I just inspire you, just start with silence if you can, just 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then move on to, you know, 5 minutes of audio meditation that you can listen to, because that's easier. You don't have to worry that you're not going to be able to focus. Just use one that has words, is great. And then, so then what starts to happen is you start to see these divine appointments. What is a divine appointment? So a divine appointment, obviously unexpected, unplanned. There was nothing specific that you were actually doing to make that appointment happen. So divine appointments begin to happen because we allow that space for ourselves in the morning, that time. And for me, the most powerful time is mornings. So you will hear me say a lot, mornings. However, you can do this any time of day. Use those morning resources at lunch or in the evening at night again. Multiple times a day is always better than once a day. I start in the morning. So the divine appointment. So here's where you will be guided. You will literally be divinely guided, and people will start to cross your paths. People will come into your life that know other people in your life. Like, crazy miracle things do happen when we allow it, to happen. So what are more ways to just allow that? Not only allow those divine appointments, but we can allow our own wellness naturally without products. You know, we don't, anything that costs money, anything of value that's a dollar value. I really believe that God inspires in us to see that more as a tool and a resource versus a saving grace, right? So that's why I rarely promote products, and it's more about the people that bring us the products. So people will begin to come into your life looking for what we have, is what happens, like divine appointments. I've got business cards of people that as I've been going through my day with more freedom. And in my morning routine is when I'm just inspired to set less appointments. Set less appointments that are unneeded, that cause stress maybe. Like anything that you do that you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta be there. Oh my gosh, she's like, oh, Jason, I'm gonna be like, we gotta hurry now. That's a sign. That would just became a sign to me to kind of just evaluate the priority of whatever that appointment was. Sometimes they're absolutely needed. Oh, Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Good to see you. So, yes, so sometimes those appointments are needed. And I was trying to mute. I think you might already be muted. And that's what the morning, when you're consistent with your morning manna, and I just say morning manna because for everybody it's different. For some people it's a meditation. For some people it's a prayer. For some people it's an audio. For some people, like me, sometimes in the morning I'm inspired to reach out and just watch a Facebook Live of like a coach I know, people that are in our community. Hopefully she could hear us. But it depends on what you're led to do that morning. However, I find when I start with the morning resources, then I'm led into other things. Not only to for ourselves, right? But then use that for what you're going to give back, right? For the value you add to other people's days. Though everything crosses our path for a reason, right? That's that divine kind of appointment theory or belief. If you have that, share that. And that's when miracles happen. You know, that's truly when we begin to see the miracle of miracles in our life in ways that we don't expect. You know, you got to remember that anything we're planning for and taking action for, we're expecting that, right? So that's not, you could call it a miracle, but by the definition, a miracle is something you don't expect or that is just so grandiose that it's not planned for. So leave room for miracles. That's my inspiration today, to leave room for miracles. And that the way to do that is to make the space in our hearts, to keep our hearts open, to see people, to see hearts, not the actions they're taking, because a lot of the time people's actions aren't reflecting what they really want to say and do. It's reflecting pain and fear, often even unconscious, subconsciously. You know, sometimes we do know, but I admit I fall into that habit at times where I begin to react. And it's just simply an old habit to maybe a fear of a certain situation. And truly that's a habit. Now it's a very powerful one. Habits are labeled all the time. They're diagnosed in the medical field. But when it comes down to it, if you really look at what that issue is, oftentimes you could relabel it as a habit and therefore then take control. And change it if you want, if it's not serving you. Anything that is not serving you, any appointments that are not serving you, I inspire you to look at changing it up. And that's it. That's it. I'm going to unmute. If you want to unmute, go ahead and unmute, and we can chat. And then I'm going to have I'm going to be recording for a little while. Hi, Dawn. Thank you so much for joining. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I wrote like 2 pages of stuff that you were talking about.
Oh my gosh, good. I'm a note taker.
Yeah, well, you say some awesome stuff that I wouldn't even like think about, you know, just like when you were talking the other day about the infinity sign. It didn't even cross my mind when I did that. And I've had that cover photo. I used it a long time ago too, but I liked it because it said, you know, it had the anchor and then it said refuse to sink. And I was like, I really like that. Didn't even realize there's the infinity until you mentioned it. And I was like, oh my God, I felt so blonde. I'm like, really, Dawn?
But change that word from blonde to God.
Yeah, that's true, because I'm, you know, when you're texting me and you're like, you don't know what that means, and I'm like, no, you know, and then you were like, look it up. So then I did, and I'm still like, what is she talking about? And then that's when you said it. It's on your cover photo, and I was like, oh my gosh, you are so right.
It's so beautiful.
I don't know.
It's so it's divinity chasing you. That's how I would say it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just, now I see it and I'm like, wow, that's, you know, even better, because now it has, you know, 3 reasons why I like it. So yeah.
I love it. You know, that symbol, it just keeps coming back. And the L in my middle name has always reminded me of that. And in all kinds of ways, it keeps coming up. Obviously, when we met, it was your cover photo when we met. It's just beautiful. And even myself, there's always things that I come across sometimes from years ago, and I'll feel like I really thought I understood that, but then today I'll actually like feel it, right? Like maybe I understood it, I've heard it before, but sometimes things don't really hit us, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Until we're ready, right? Until the timing.
That's true. You're right. Absolutely right.
So how are you in school doing with your classes?
I'm good. I still have the highest grade, and my first course ends Monday, and then I start my second one on Tuesday. So
Good.
I'm excited to start this new course. I'm excited. We have a huge paper due tomorrow that I've been really working on and trying to organize my thoughts and everything. That way I can just type it all out once I do my rough draft. So I'm going to make a good grade on it because I'm going to make a good grade. Because I've been putting in the effort, so it's going to pay off. So I'm proud of myself. If nothing else, I'm proud of myself.
That's where it starts. It is. I heard something this past week on an audio and it talked about the ego and how a lot of times we can say, oh, our ego is bad or not good, or, oh, we should squelch our ego. And it was actually, this audio was talking about how it actually can lead us to our power. What our ego is a part of our strength that is, can get unharnessed or something like that. But when harnessed, our ego can actually lead to our power. It was just so powerful. So I started to see ego differently now, and in my children, my husband, even, myself, right? Mm-hmm. So that's beautiful. You are a powerful woman, and you have God within you, and that's the almighty powerful. So it shines in all you do. I mean, oh my gosh, your schooling is just the beginning. Like that's kind of your box that visually, physically we feel led, right, to check off, like school, like learning, education, you're growing, you're building yourself. Mm-hmm. It's just going to pay off massively. And your children, they're so inspired by you. You're really, really doing so good for them. You inspire me. Yes, they are beautiful. And the way you love them and recognize them and share them, that's a blessing.
I would post more about my son, but he's like, Mom, please don't post pictures of me on Facebook. I'm like, please let me. I said, your sister lets me. And he was like, I just, you can talk about me, but just don't post pictures. And I'm like, darn it. I said, okay, I won't. But, so I've had some people like, why don't you post anything about your son? And I'm like, well, because I'm respecting his wishes not to do it on social media, just.
Yes. And you can even make a post about that, because you're not the only mom, I bet, that has children. They're like, yeah. Even my kids are getting to that point where they're kind of, and mine are obviously way younger than yours, but teenagers that are already on social media. I mean, that's like, if obviously you're their guide, and if they're old enough and all that kind of stuff, safety first and all that, but
right.
Right, but it is their space, right? And it's you're, as a parent now, gosh, it's like you're led to be respectful to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and I would want the same respect if someone asked me. You know what I mean? So yes.
At their ages, and I'm just learning that as a mom, as a parent, that your children do get to an age where, and really, it's from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That they know and deserve and need that in their life from their own parents. And there's I'm learning every day. So thank you for going first and being a mama of two teenagers.
It's a challenge, but I'm just so proud of my kids. Like both, every single day I'm like, wow, I got some really good kids. I do. They may have attitudes and they may make me upset where I want to just like throw something out the window. But at the end of the day, I just am amazed every single day. And I'm so thankful that they're mine, just, yes. I don't know, just especially being a single parent too. And it's hard. People that aren't single parents, they have no idea. And me and my kids have been through hell and back. But I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, they love me regardless of every single mistake that I've ever done and made, and they, forgive me, and I pray that they do forgive me for some of the stuff that I've done, and I just have to learn from it and grow with them as a family, because that's all we have in the end. That's all we have is each other, And I know no matter how much I mess up or what I do, I know that at least my kids will always love me. They will always love me. And they've shown it recently with everything they have. And I just want to cry right now. And I'm not going to cry, but yes, that's.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful because it's a confirmation. Everything that's in my own heart is everything that you just shared. And my some of the inspiration for my book is exactly this, that mother and again, removing all of the preconceived and emotional attachments we have had to that word mother, and basically renewing that, right? Starting with your generation, like you as where you're at, and breaking the cycles and moving forward in growth, and just all you're doing. It's like this season is such a beautiful representation too of moms like you that are stepping up and changing the cycles and doing what a mother's heart leads you to do. It's so simple and beautiful. And I just praise you. I praise you for doing that, because you're being an example to more than you know. Obviously, more than you know. Your own children, right, are your first heart, but there's so many other hearts out there that are, even to this day, being inspired by you and your story, and even just your smile. Just that you're smiling, people that know what you go through and know the challenges you face. And when we smile, that's just proof that God is within you. That's how I see that. And I hope that that's okay with you. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Very beautiful. I keep doing that. Keep smiling and shining. And, I've heard people say, well, how do I keep smiling if I feel so bad, or if I'm going through such a hard time? And that's it. It's that light within that just keeps reminding us of something good. Something good. And there's so much that's good. So many blessings. Celebrating today. I hope that you found value here, Dawn. I love you so much. I know I find value every time we meet and get together and have a talk, and it's always life-giving. So thank you.
That's why you need to move back to Texas. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, we're praying and meditating on that. Yeah, we'll rest here for a little while, but we do have plans to travel more. We
That's good.
Enjoyed it. It absolutely changed everything about our lives in big ways and good ways. The lessons I just can't even, oh my gosh, I have so many videos and just things that divine appointments, right? That we found along that way of all that time that we weren't planning, that we weren't, being strict with our schedule and forcing people to do this or that, or, just being free for just a season. It helped so much in so many areas. And the children are grateful now. We come back home to this amazing, all of this stuff that we have. And like me and him are like, my husband and I are, like we see that it really is not that important. But to them, when they come back and realize how much we have, how blessed we really are, and how much we don't have to fear and worry and wonder, where's our food coming from? Where's our what's coming from? That we're good. God's taking care of us. It was all for a reason. Yeah. And that's where I always say that the divine appointments, the things that happen to us unplanned, there's always a reason. There's always a reason. We might not know it at the time, but there's always a reason. Like when we met, who knew that we'd be here talking today?
I know. I had no idea,
So you just never know. So celebrate the possibilities. And I love you so much, Dawn. I hope you'll have
I love you too.
I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
I'm going to definitely try. No, I'm not going to try. I'm going to have a good day, regardless of anybody else. Dawn's going to have a good day because I woke up in a good mood, and no one's going to ruin that. So there it is.
Nana, it was that morning. We always, and that's like that fresh start every single morning. Mm-hmm. And that's my goal, is that became my goal when I started meeting with Melody. How long can I stretch that morning sunshine, that warmth, because it's warm, right? It's happy, it's warm. There's nothing bad in the world. It's all rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. And then we start getting these arrows, right?
Right. That's true. But you know what? And then I keep thinking to myself, it's okay. Just
Yes.
breathe and just,
It
you're
is,
going to have a good,
it's our purpose. It is. And we're here to push beyond what we know we can. It's true. And you will, and I will, we all are.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'll sign off and we'll talk again soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.